What's up, Bucs? Happy Buck Day. Happy Wednesday. What's going on? Welcome to another great episode of Bucs Report, the Aftermath 102.9, The Game, Broad Street South Radio. It's one of your hosts, AJ. Turn up. Get your rum, get your popcorn, get your sword, get your eye patch, because we are about to talk Buck football out this bitch tonight. I hope you guys are doing good. We don't have long now. We do not have long until the Bucs start the season, and we're going to end that motherfucker hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. I said it here. I'm going to keep saying that. But no further ado, let's bring in Coach Slick, a.k.a. the British guy who's always fly. What's good, sir? What it do?
How's it going, man? How's it going?
Good, man. I'm ready, man. Look, each week, I am prepared for this Bucs team. Each week, I'm excited because we have a full healthy roster for the most part. We just got to stay between 70 to 75% healthy. The sky's the limit for this team. So I am ecstatic because I'm excited. I've heard certain players that are looking good, especially some of the second-year guys. What else is there, man?
That's what we want. That's what we want, brother. And we've got this whole preseason to take a little taster to see what's going on. So,
yes. Who do you give me 3 players that you want to see, rookies that you want to see stand out in preseason?
Bucs is like the clear play here.
Of course.
I'd probably go with Parrish. And then it gets harder. I think probably Tez Johnson. I'm not too worried about the cornerbacks because I know generally cornerbacks take a year or two to develop. Wide receivers can hit their stride quite early sometimes. They can strike iron quite quick.
Yes.
So I'm more excited about like those kind of guys. Whereas the defense, I think, will sort itself out. I think it's just we're probably not going to see like the likes of some of these guys maybe until deeper into the season. If Buccaneer football goes the way I would expect it to,
yes,
we'll just develop really good depth at the cornerback position. So as much as I want them to succeed, I don't think you're going to see a lot of that success because they won't need to be on. Hopefully, they won't need to be on the field that much because our starters from last year should be able to do the job. But if they got someone nipping on their heel, they got someone nipping on their heel. But I just don't see it this. I don't see it this year. I just think we're going to have this really good depth that if one of our guys goes down, that's when these guys will shine. But Tez Johnson and Mika Buka is going to probably be the big sell because I think that guy's a bit of a steal. For camp-wise, I'm really hoping that Shiloh can make it because I like what he's putting out on Instagram. He seems like he's really falling in love with Tampa, and I think Tampa natives are really falling in love with him. I do feel like the Buccaneers got the better brother out of the two. Nothing against Shador. I just think Shiloh's more cut for our cloth. If you get what I mean, I think he fits in quite nicely. But that's a camp story, I think, and I'll be following that one quite closely.
Hell yeah, my man. Look, Emeka's the first one. I agree. I want to see that because if I see Emeka shines early, that just means Godwin doesn't have to come back soon, and he can slowly get himself back. That also means Evans, you don't have to do as much. The other guys will step up. So you're right. You're definitely right on that. Emeka, I am psyched for that shit. I am looking at the 3 rushers we drafted in Walker and Elijah. I need to see something. I need to see quality depth pieces. Slick. I'm not expecting them to blow up. If you guys don't know, this is a defensive-minded genius right here. Ambitious man, knows the game. Ladies and gentlemen, edge rushers are not going to fall out of the fucking sky the first year and be these 11, 12 sack guys. Please understand that.
But what we're hoping is we get one of those guys who comes in, gets a sack, and then maybe a strip sack or like is Johnny on the spot kind of thing. So I get where you're coming from. A bit like I'm expecting from the corners when they do go in, They make an impact. They don't look lost.
Exactly. That's all I want from Walker. I want Walker to be the guy. Okay, Hassan is resting, or if he comes out in rotation or whatever, he's the guy where he might not necessarily get the sack, but the pressure it matters. Or he's a guy that's first things first. I want to see
the pocket kind of thing.
Yes, I want to see them both stop the run. That's my thing right there. If you cannot stop the run in a Bulls defense, to me, you're useless. You have to know the basics. Stop the run first. The pass rush will get there. That's why Hassan Reddick and Yaya are the guys that we want to develop. But those are my three: Emeka, Roberts, and Walker. Show me something. And then speaking of that, coming out of the news, man, Devin Cope is killing. He's the fastest tight end on the block. He's got for sure hands, and he's getting hungrier. That's another, you know what that means, Slick. That's another weapon for this fucking offense. I don't understand how special this offense is. I don't think people understand the how pure we are. And if I am the Bucs, look, Slick, you know me. I'm running 10 personnel. Stop it first. Stop the 10 personnel first. I'm spreading that bitch out. I'm spreading it out. We'll go to 11 personnel. We'll do 12 because I would love to see Otten and Devin Colt on a tight end set.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely with the blocking that you get out of Kate Otten, to be honest.
Right, and then Colt can stretch the field. I mean, there's so many things you can do when you have a plethora of talent on offense. You take advantage of it. We forget we have a slot receiver in Rachaad White. He's a slot receiver in a running back's body. Imagine him coming out like you'll say he blocks and then he rolls out.
Yeah, or flex him out in motion, that kind of thing you could do. Put him right behind the two tight end, get that two tight end set, then flex him out to motion right behind the tight end. Then you could screen it out to him and he can flip out to the flat. Beautiful stitch.
Damn straight. I'm just getting chills just thinking about this shit. Because if we do it right and Grizzer is aggressive, we know. I like the fact, if you didn't hear this, Grizzer said he's not a yes man. I like that. I need him. If Bo says, I think we should kick the field goal. I know it's 4th and 3, but I need him to say, fuck all that, coach. We're going for it. Are you sure? Yes. All right. So how did you get that touchdown? Well, my guys wanted to do their job, and he said no to me. First, I thought that's crazy. But that's what we need with this offense, Slick. And speaking of, let's just talk about this, the creamsicle. Yes, I like the creamsicle, but the white on the shit, the when it's white and that shit is clean. Man,
I didn't see no jersey mock-ups. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the jersey mock-up.
I'm waiting for it too. And guys, when Slick gets here back to the States, November, we gotta rock that shit. We gotta rock it.
Oh yeah, bro.
I like it.
It may not be creamsicle day when we get there, but it'll be creamsicle day for us.
I'm still gonna rock it. Look,
I'm gonna rock it anyway, bro.
Yes, that is something you're supposed to. And then look, if they're really smart, I think we will wear the creamsicle if we play the Seahawks. The Seahawks should wear their throwback shit too.
That would be fucking dope. That'd be really fucking dope.
And they both came in the league at the same time, same year. I think that's slick. I think if the NFL doesn't make that happen, that's a lack of.
I mean, Detroit Lions wouldn't be a bad shout as well.
It wouldn't be.
We played them in the NFC Central back in the day, so that's not a bad one. I mean, it's a primetime game as well, so they might look to flex that there. I'm just quickly looking through the schedule. I'm not no interest in doing. You could do New Orleans' first ever win.
You could, but
I know where you're going. You got the two expansion teams that expanded.
Yes.
Expansion. I get you.
Both of their jerseys are fucking fire.
Oh,
imagine that shit. If I swear, seeing that, you'll actually feel like you're back in the 70s. And look, we got to get some of the old school footage and make that shit look like that.
They did I'll tell you what, the Buccaneers did a really good job of giving that 70s kind of glaze over the top of the stadium. To really kind of like make it, all the music and everything was from the late 70s. I loved the whole vibe. It was a real, real good day. I mean, it wasn't a good day for us on the field, but it was a great day out because obviously me and you finally got to hang for a minute as well.
Oh
So
man, yes,
we had a good time, but we had a bad time looking at that score.
yes. It's just that we had a bad time because the coaching
I've never
mentality.
seen the Buccaneers win live, and I've been to 3 Buccaneers games.
Well, don't worry, that shit's gonna change this
You
year.
got to change that shit, bro.
The thing is, we know, guys, it's not that we had a good time, but the football mentality in us understands when you have a team that is better. And mind you, we still were without Evans and Godwin, but we still could have beaten them. We just didn't. We kept beating ourselves. That's what
And
frustrates people
that
who
game
love
was a
to know.
seesaw until they took control, and then we tried to fight back at the end. That's basically
Right.
it was back and fucking forth all game,
Right.
and then I think second half they come in and they blow us up a bit, and we can't really stop them. And then we start to stop them, and we're scoring, and it was just too little, too late.
It was too little, too late. Perfect words. Like in Bowles, please listen. Too little, too late is the game that you have been that's been fucking you over since you've been coach. Like Slick said, keep your foot on the gas. What do I say? Slaughter them. Show no mercy. If it's 28-0 in the second quarter, in my mind, Slick, it should be 56-0. The fuck we doing, y'all? We ain't done yet. You have
I'd be saying to my guys when it comes to this, and you're trying to preach that whole we can't let our foot off the gas. Do you want these fuckers to put you on their fucking highlight tape because you're napping? Because that's what they'll do. And everyone, you'll be going, oh yeah, but it was garbage time. Still fucking cooked you.
It's still fucking cooked, right? Garbage. Do you understand, guys? We have coaches have an expectation. Look at what the Bucs did against the Chiefs. That's why it's going to be more remembered down the line than the Eagles. The Bucs didn't give up no garbage time, and that was the number one fucking offense. We said the only time they touched down is when they got into Tampa, and that was it. And we kept dealt to ass. So this is why we need to stay in lock mode. And I want the Bucs, when they have them creamsicles on Slick, bring the nasty 70s out. Like we were sometimes hard to watch, but that defense. People they still had that defense was still revered. I want to see Hassan Reddick or Kalijah Kancey. I want to see him capture the essence of Leroy Selman. Imagine him being like a defensive tackle, defensive end hybrid, just getting out there hitting people like Leroy Selman. We got to break that curse because that's the problem. Like when we wear the shit, a lot of Buck fans don't like it because they're like, oh my God, man, it just reminds me when we were getting our asses kicked. And we haven't won in our throwback uniforms in the past couple years. So I'm sick of that shit. We need to change it. So guys, Bowles, we gotta get it together. Now let's talk about the Ring of Honor because I know you really got a passion for that, and I want you to give me your player that you want to see go into the Ring of Honor, and why do they deserve it?
I mean, literally, Bucs Report did a fantastic article on this, and they asked a few people. I'm not sure if you were on it, AJ, or you didn't get a chance to, or what have you.
I tried to get it, man. I tried to get it, but
you can always do it live now, right? So I picked the great. I picked the great Hardy Nickerson, and the reason I picked him was he joined the team. He was the first big premier free agent that the Buccaneers had in a very, very long time. He comes in and reignites the defense. Understand why? We know they weren't good years, but he has his best years with Tampa. And then Tony Dungy comes to town, and he completely takes over. He probably showed people like Shelton Quells and Derek Brooks the ropes on how to be a good linebacker. You coming into that experience, I bet you that D Brooks turns around and says, that guy was a tremendous help to me because you're walking into a consummate professional who knows what he's doing. This guy is so fucking legendary. He had his own fucking Nike advert. Yeah. The lowly Tampa Bay Buccaneers had a member of their crew who had Nike adverts. You can't fucking make that shit up. With Dennis Hopper in the advert, the guy's got multiple Pro Bowls, all pros. Yes, his best years were with Tampa, and that's why we love him. We love him for that, and I think he needs his recognition because he's one of those Levante David-esque type players that never really got the shine, and I think the Buccaneers should give him his shine.
100%. I think I'm with you on that. I think Simeon also, more than that, he was also one of those defensive ends for his time that really amplified what it was to be a pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
And he could stop the run too. He was dynamic in both, and one of the only few people to put running quarterbacks, it put them in fear. He was one of the biggest reasons why Michael Vick couldn't get off. Donovan McNabb, Steve McNairs of the world. But my guy, and I think he might be, I think he is. So if he is, shame on me. Martin Gramatica.
No,
Martin Gramatica needs to be in there. Why, Slick? Because he represents resilience and consistency. Every time we needed a kick, he was there for the most part. He was resilient. That man, and you can see that he loved the Bucs. I like when a player, like you can see Slick, he's the guy, if you saw him outside of the game, he'd walk up to you and talk to you for a second and be like, hey, how's it going? He's a friendly guy. And that's why I like Martin Gramatica. He was one of my favorites. And one time, Slick, in the game, somebody ran into him. Oh man, the Bucs fucking went off on that. Oh, I forgot who it was, but that's how much of an impact Martin Gramatica had to this organization. So Martin Gramatica for me was one of the first people I really knew by name as a kicker. Martin Gramatica, Janikowski, and of course Ben fucking Terry, because at that point I couldn't stand him. I was like, it's because of you that Brady and them got these fucking rings. But so for me, the Ring of Honor. But yes, Simeon Rice this year, when we play the Cardinals, it should be only fitting that he goes in the Ring of Honor then. I think that would happen. And if anything, I want us to both be there that day, watch that fucking game, and be like, yes. And you know what? It's almost a guarantee. I ain't gonna I'm gonna say it. It's almost a guaranteed win. You know why? It's gonna be the dookie ass Cardinals. Ain't nobody worried about Kyler Murray. Not worried about him. Not worried about him. And by the time we play them, our pass rush might be and start clicking, and Chris Broswell might put him on his
late, man. It's that December. It's coming up to December, so that's the time you got to nail down the fucking football, right?
Yes,
you can't be dropping fucking games in November. You know, you got to go on a run. You got Saints the week after as well. You can't drop a game and then go against the Saints.
No, sir. At this point, we're supposed to. Now we know. Now, Slick, I'm a realist. There probably will be a game. For me, this was my estimate. In a perfect world, let's say if the Bucs are 90% healthy, let's say if Bowles is aggressive and he just goes ball to the wall and say, "Fuck this, guys, we going for this bitch." If he does that and this offense clicks the way it's supposed to, that's why I'm saying 15-2. Because at this point, Slick, I want to ask you this, and you've seen the schedule. If the Bucs get their receivers out and their offense click in the way that we know they can, how many defensive teams that we're playing this season are going to be able to stop that? I'm asking because look at the Falcons. They don't have enough. The Falcons don't even have a fucking pass rush, Slick. They don't have a pass rush. And somebody's like, well, we got Walker now. So Walker is going to just blow up Cody Mock. Walker's just going to blow up Luke Getty. They don't move him around. If they put him on Wirf's side, that's a waste of fucking time. Wirf's is
it doesn't matter who they got. Like, this is the guy they drafted, right?
Yeah.
So even if he has I'm saying just a very good rookie year, for the sake of argument, he's going to be 6 to 9 sacks.
Right, and that's
not enough. That's not enough influence to be like taking over games yet. Yeah, that'd be a guy that go, wow, he popped in that game. He did some things. The kind of edge rusher we're talking about that's going to have that much of a difference to your JJ Watts of the world, and it's going to take a guy to develop into that if he ever does, right? Where he completely take over a game. Jalen Walker in his rookie season isn't going to take over games. He's just not. It doesn't happen that often, right? So to turn around and go, oh, we've got Jalen Walker, but you got nobody else, isn't going to be the fucking. well, that's it. Done. Okay, well, we'll just double max protect on the one side. We'll just if we struggle with him, we'll stick a tight end next to it, and we'll just say, K. Dot, and just fucking chip him all fucking day. Just keep chipping him. Whatever. There are ways around. If you've only got one stud in the barn, we'll just make sure that stud doesn't get to see the light of day.
Well, I'm just an asshole, Slick. I just be asking. I asked Falcon fans. Well, what kind of defense do you run anyway?
Well, I think we're 4-3.
You're 3-4. Okay, let me ask you this, Mr. Falcons fans. What front should you guys use? Okie front, tight front?
What?
Like, hey, if you know, you're supposed to know this shit, because how are you supposed to? What if you don't even know the strength of your player? You don't know the strength of your team. We just
what techniques are you gonna play? I don't know.
What technique? Yes, is he gonna be a 4-eye, a 5-eye? Is he gonna play the 6?
No, he'll play the 0.
Oh, so he's gonna be a nose tackle. What? Right. This is true shit. I'm like,
he's gonna be between a 6 and a fucking 9. That's
exactly
the only place for him.
But I hear people say shit like that, Slick. I'm like, oh my god, if you played a 0, you're trying to kill your boy. Walker will look at you and be like, are you out of your fucking mind? I'm not playing no 0. I'm like, if you don't know people, just say that. And it's not me trying to act like I know everything. However, you have to just know.
You've got to have a base fundamental knowledge of football before you
have
do shit.
Fundamental. Like for me,
come on, Jalen Walker wasn't even down as a defensive end. He was down as a fucking linebacker. So of course they're going to play in a 4. They're going to play in a 4-3. Otherwise, he's playing outside linebacker like Levante David did in his rookie years.
That's right. Oh, and not everybody knows how to adjust. That's what makes Levante so special. He went from a 4-3 linebacker and he plays in the 3-4 and he never skipped a beat. Something Slick, honestly, you know this. There's just certain levels and skills of players you can't teach, and it's his work ethic. So this is why
I wish we went to a fucking 3-4 years before, because I think it would put way more shine on Levante David's career.
I agree.
It irritates the living shit out of me that when they do the Pro Bowl, when they pick the outside backers, they always pick pass rushers and they never pick guys who play the position, like the other guys who play the position. And I think it's unfair to go, well, let's say for the sake of argument, I know they play in a completely different division. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. You can always slide someone in, but you'd have Levante David losing to someone like
Bobby Wagner. Bobby
Wagner played middle linebacker, so that's okay. That's fine. He's allowed to lose because it's a different position. Now they compete in the same position. What I'm saying is, when he was an outside backer, he'd be losing to pure pass rushers. And I'm like, but they play a completely different game, and that's what irritated me.
I get what you're saying, because
it'd be like a Khalil Mack.
Yes, Von Millers. And
there's Von Millers in the world, and I know they're all AFC, but you look at it from that perspective, or Clay Matthews or whoever, right? Would have been probably one of those guys. And he's like, but they do 2 completely different jobs, so why should he get the nod over him?
Right. Well, what do you always say, Slick?
One's only got 25 fucking tackles, the other's got 125 tackles. You know, one's got 12 sacks, one's got 4.5. Like one's got maybe 1 interception, the other's got 2.
Mm-hmm.
One's got 2 forced fumbles, Levante's got fucking 5. You know, and when you put it all together and you put the piece together, it's like they're 2 totally different players. And I'm not just saying playing style or anything like that. It's a completely different fucking position.
That's right.
And I think it's unfair. It's the same with Vita Vea. When they pick the defensive tackles for the All-Pro and the Pro Bowl, they pick 2 fucking free techs, because free techs get to fly off the edge and they get to make sacks. It's an unselfish position playing a 0 tech shaded nose. It's
it's an unsung hero, but what do you say best, Slick? It's not sexy. A pass rusher is sexier than a coverage linebacker. But
I know, but if you're going to make a team, you're not going to have no team's going to have 2 fucking free techs. Someone's got to play the 0.
Someone's got to be the sacrifice. Exactly. Yeah. And for what Vita does, now it's good. It's crazy you say that, because the people that know the game, like one of the guys on my TikTok, I'm going to bring him on one of these days. Slick, he played offensive lineman. He fucks with Vita. He said, he says, You people don't know what how one of a kind Vita Vea is. He says for him to get the sacks that he gets is undeniable. He said
sacks sometimes.
Right. And one guy said, if you understood the purpose of what a nose tackle and the 3 technique is, he said, you guys would be, because somebody said, oh, Sapp played the nose. No, the fuck he didn't. He was a 3 tech. He played 3 tech.
What Booger McFarland was for.
Right. I'm like, do you understand where the 3 tech lines up at?
No, the C gap.
That's a pass rusher, man. Go calm down. Again, but they don't know that.
It's
Like,
the same gap.
line
It's
up
the same
against
gap
center?
of the nose. It's just a different shade to it. The exact
Right.
same gap.
They don't.
No, it's not.
Again,
No, it's
when
not.
you don't, like you said, when you don't know, no, I know what you meant. The 3 tech is on the guard, and the nose is on the center, and he is the plug the line up, the plug the holes, and everybody else feasts. He's the sacrifice, big body. The linebacker's job is, hey, you
nine times out of 10, he's going to get double teamed. If you've got an extremely good pass rushing free tech, then they'll have to double him too, and that's the whole fucking point. That's why your Gerald McCoys, your Warren Sapps got what they got, because they had a guy, a space eater, so to speak, or a people eater, who would suck defenders, and occasionally they'd get a one-on-one, and you knew they were going to win it. You know,
right.
And that's
what people don't.
I just hate the whole. Like, if I could sit down with have a chat with the committee that makes the All-Pro and go, right, okay, you've just made this All-Pro team. Why is your All-Pro team not going to know people? Yeah, every team in the NFL's got one, but you don't have one. So why not?
Well, they're not marketing enough, and that's what it is. At the end of the day, they're not marketing to be added.
I wouldn't even bother with, like, when they do these teams, it should be strong safety, free safety, 2 corners, nickel. I won't bother with a dime, because your backup nickel can play the dime. Outside backer, 2 pure outside backers in edge defenders, 2 pure I say quote unquote like the old Levante David outside linebackers in a 4-3, 2 middle linebackers. And the thing is, I'm adding loads of positions, so it makes, you could argue I've watered down the list because I'm adding all these positions. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to fit every type of defense from this perspective, every type of defense in. It's the same when they do. Like, you could argue the same thing with offense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do they pick a pure slot receiver for the All-Pro team, or do they just pick the 3rd best wide receiver?
They pick the 3rd best wide receiver. They don't go.
And here's the interesting thing. Let's say football ended today, not football ended today, but let's say football ended the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
The best 3 wide receivers are: number 1 will go Justin Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 will go Chase. And I'm going to add one here just for shits and fucking gigs, because I love this guy. Michael Lynn Evans III. You're going to put him in the slot? But technically the slot, right? Because he's the 3rd best wide receiver. So he would make the All-Pro team from that perspective, right?
Right.
And it's the same. Should you have 2? How many teams run 2 running backs, yet 2 running backs get All-Pros? No one runs fucking 2 running backs anymore. They have packages for it. Yeah. You're more likely to go, like you said, a spread, because you want to take advantage of space.
You want to take advantage.
Two running backs ain't going to do that. We used it for the first time in ages.
Yeah.
Last year with Bucky.
It's been a while. It's been a long time. And again, this is why we are the way we are, Buck fans and people out there, football. Certain things, we can go on and on about this, but this is why he makes a perfect point, because it's the same type of argument that I have when people talk about running quarterbacks and the difference between a running quarterback and a dual threat quarterbacks. Like I say, guys, you like how running quarterbacks run because it looks exciting and it's like they're ad-libbing. But at the end of the day, when the game is on the fucking line, that's the guy that you don't want to trust, because that's their first option is to run and not think. A true dual threat quarterback is a Josh Allen or a Lamar that can fuck you up either way, where they run unexpectedly and make things happen. Baker did it against Detroit when Hutchinson was on him. What did he do, Slick? He made the run where they did not expect it. If he was a running quarterback, they would have already known, okay, let's get his ass this way. Let's blow him up on the outside or through the middle and get him that way. But they didn't. They didn't expect that. Guys, just because something looks sexier doesn't mean it's always effective the way that you think. That's all we are trying to say. So get that out of your heads and understand. Football is a game where all positions and all certain things matter. Just because something is more fun looking doesn't mean it. Because if that's the case, offensive linemen wouldn't be as valued. They're the most valued, but they don't get the glory. It's all in the trenches. You can have a high octane offense, but with no O-line, you're not going nowhere. We see that in Cincinnati since fucking 2003. Remember? Ocho, Hushman, Palmer. Now it's Burrow, Chase, and Higgins. They don't have anything in the trenches. That's why your boy Burrow keeps getting fucked up. And if they don't get their shit together, it's gonna get worse. And speaking of people, let's just switch and talk about the Steelers for just a second. Slick, what the fuck is going on? They give up Fitzpatrick and then they take in Jalen Ramsey. Now TJ Watt is not happy. And people literally out here Slick saying,
Well, he's 30, so we need to cut our losses.
I beg your pardon, sir. You're going to give away still a prime TJ. You're willing to sacrifice TJ Watt. And we know this is going to piss Slick off for what? A future first fucking round that you don't even know might not even pan out, or better yet, you might not even get the guy you want. What if the guy that you want says, I want to go back to school. I'm going to stay a year, or he goes somewhere else. Slick, it's a mess. It's a mess.
I would have thought if I was going to trade anyone for anyone, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm looking at the Steelers. Steelers got always had a solid defense, and they still do.
They do.
Why would I get rid of a player that's been very good for me for a cornerback that has been declining? Let's be honest.
Yes,
he has been declining, right?
Yes.
And nothing against Jalen Ramsey. I did nothing against him. I think he's a great player. I think his time is knocked earlier than expected. But the safety position has a lot more life in it because people play safety well into their thirds. Because you don't need to be as fast because you can play. If you're a guy who's a Bucs safety who can play, you're a safety who can play the Bucs, then you don't need to be fast. You just need to be quick. There's a big difference between being fast and quick. And the second thing is, wouldn't you go after an offensive player where you want to have that firepower for your quarterback that you've just brought in? Like, I'm not going to die on the hill for Aaron Rodgers. That was the logical choice for them, is that he was the best case scenario that they could bring in. The only thing that irritates me about the Steelers is have some fucking patience and build on a quarterback instead of fucking chopping and changing every year and hoping. You can't replace Big Ben. Big Ben was elite for his time. Yep. He was. No one's going to argue with that. He was a great quarterback. He won 2 Super Bowls. Great quarterback. You're not going to find that in 1 year. You're not going to find that in 2 years. But you need to take a guy and just fucking let them play.
And develop. Whatever happened to developing, Slick? We are in an era where if your first 2 years, you're not fucking spectacular. Once upon a time, Slick, I watched the NFL where we waited 3 to 5 years for quarterbacks or certain players to get better.
You're definitely going to give them 2. Especially with the thing is, you're talking about a coach who's never had a losing season, right?
That's right.
It doesn't matter who they gave him. They gave Dwayne Haskins, whoever. It doesn't matter. Dangerous, whoever the fuck. It doesn't matter. You give him a pumpkin that still have a winning season, even if they scraped it into a winning season, right? It's still pretty fucking good. So if you have the patience, maybe every year he gets a bit better. And then all of a sudden, you've got the next Mahomes. Because we all know, and I'm not saying Dwayne Haskins or whoever they had in the past is going to be that person. What I'm saying is, when you put time into a player, and unless they're showing you something that's making you go, nah, I don't fucking buy it. He's a fucking fraud. Then you need to speak to your scouting department about doing a better fucking job.
He said he's a fucking fraud.
But you know what I'm saying, right?
No, I know. It's just I can see somebody in the locker room or in the office saying, He ain't shit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's a fucking fraud. We thought he was gonna be the dude. He ain't no dude. He's a fraud. He's just taking money. He's just taking money, and taking our money. I don't give a fuck. And I don't.
Fraud, y'all. He's a fraud. Get this motherfucker out of here. No, but I get it. Developing is one thing, but also, like you said, you're in the AFC North. It's first of all, it's physical.
Go for Shador. They could have had Aaron Rodgers him behind Aaron Rodgers and learn for a bit, and at least hedge their bets and get two guys that they reckon. I mean, they could have got him in the fucking 4th round, right? They could have got Shador and then another guy and just sit them behind Rodgers. Rodgers knows his time's fucking up. He's got no reason not to fucking share his information at this point. He knows his time, right? When you know your time's up, you ain't going to be worried. And you can still learn from somebody just by hanging out with them and spending time with them in the quarterback room and what have you. Ask them questions. You know, no one's going to turn around and go, I'm not telling you that. He's going to share some fucking information, especially if there's if coaches are present. You know, it's just natural. But that's what I think they're missing in the Steelers. That they're missing development of the quarterback position. And I don't think bringing Aaron Rodgers is going to fix it. And I don't hate Aaron Rodgers. I don't fucking hate him. I just don't particularly like him either. I don't hate him. I don't like him.
He gets on my nerves because the way that
he tries to be really philosophical and deep about everything. And you're like, you don't need to be, dude. I watched that documentary. I was like, there are parts of that documentary. I was like, he seems a well put together dude. I like the way he thinks. And by the end of it, I was like, this guy's fucking full of himself. Jupiter's got to align with Mars, and I've got to make a decision in Moon. Oh, fuck off. Come on now.
He's the guy. If we're at a bar, he'll just say, "I have so much more money, dude. I'm with this." And see, I'm the person. I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's cool. Stick him up. I'll take your shit from you. Keep talking. Yeah, how much you got on you?" But again, like you said, the Steelers. My issue is you don't let a guy like Watt even be unhappy. Put it this way, Slick. What would you do? What would you do, Slick, if the Bucs, like let's say the Steelers came out of nowhere and said, "Guys, we're willing to give you Watt for a 2nd round." Are you pulling the trigger, Slick?
I'll give him 2 first. I'll give him 2 first tomorrow. I'll give him 2 first tomorrow.
He said 2 first. What if they said, "We'll give you a 2nd, and we'll give you
the 1st round and the 2nd round of next year's draft"?
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. Give us a 2nd and with Palmer and a 3rd. So yeah, they said we'll give you Watt, but we need a 2nd, a 3rd, and we want Trey Palmer. You know, like let's say if they were smart and they started getting
done deal.
You taking that shit? Me too, dog. I ain't gonna. At that point, can you imagine Watt? And then you could switch. I don't think Hassan wouldn't mind. Well, you could. Yaya would be on the bench, and I wouldn't be upset about that. You would have. You think Hassan would switch sides, or do you think it would be?
Can you think of the rotation you would get though? Oh my lord!
Yeah, exactly. So I know because I had to bring that up, Slick, because Buck fans were talking that shit, and I just found that funny. I'm like, you know what? That was okay. That's worth arguing about. If he's that unhappy, Light should get on him and be like, hey, just,
So these guys were freaking out the fact that he went from 19 sacks to 11 and a half. Okay. And he played every game and started every game. Okay, there's a fair little bit of, I can understand a little bit of hesitation. I can understand that.
Shit.
But you can't have a guy who's double-digit sacks and go, we better trade him before we cut our losses. He could get 8 sacks next year and people still want fucking something for him.
Yeah, I was about to say 11 sacks is still double fucking digits. And mind you, Hayward is doing his thing, but he's getting up there in age now.
Greed. People are greedy.
That people are, oh my God, you keep him. Matt, again, Buck fans and Slick, you know this from a defensive-minded perspective. If Watt were to come to the Bucs should be Super Bowl favorites, and it wouldn't even be fucking close. Like you said, the rotation would be
I mean,
Ridiculous.
yeah.
You
The
have
rotation would be
Hassan.
ridiculous. I don't even know if you want to rotate because unless he's feeling tired. I mean,
No, you want him to stay healthy, and then Yaya, because he's the young guy, he still got a lot to prove. And then you got the draft. Oh my goodness, Slick. If that were to happen and Light does that shit, Light would be. Oh my god, the Bucs winning the Super Bowl. The Bucs would probably be fucking 16-1 just with TJ Watt. So speaking of that, let's switch it. We're gonna give this man some respect and flowers because apparently people just don't understand this man's gangster. This man right here, I got you covered, big homie. Jason Licht is been the man. Jason Licht does not get the credit that he deserves, and I'm quite frankly sick of this shit. Slick, I'm gonna say this: these are the notable players that he has drafted. Mike Evans, that's his first number 1 pick. That's his first pick ever. Top 10 quarterback, wide receiver of all time, Hall of Famer. No, not shabby, not too bad. Chris Godwin, whoa, another strong guy who would be a Hall of Fame if Mike Evans wasn't there. Vita Vea, enough said. Carlton Davis, he's getting paid. Still in the league. Devin White, we got the best out of him, so I'm still gonna say that's a win. Tristan Wirfs, the best tackle in the game, who historically is what Slick. He was an all-pro on both sides of the fucking ball. Hell of a pick. Antoine Winfield, he was hurt, but we know in 2023 he was the best safety in the game. Luke Gedeke, another guy that all of a sudden now, oh fuck, we're gonna have 2 expensive ass tackles. Elijah Canty, who is on the cusp of greatness, like you said, he's getting there. You want to see some more, including me, and I already predict he's going to have a 13+ sack season. Yaya Diaby, who is a solid pick, solid. Graham Barton, another solid, and then Bucky Irvin. Buccaneers, you should be thankful and grateful that this man has been here. Oh yeah, he also pulls Slick the greatest free agency in history. Yes, people, Thomas Edward Patrick fucking Brady, not Saquon fucking Barkley. Don't be stupid. That was the greatest free agency pick of all time. Oh yeah, he also brought the Ndamukong Suh here. The Ndamukong Suh came here.
JPP.
What more else? But JPP.
Saw the potential so high in a guy who's only ever been a backup in Shaq Barrett.
Shaq Barrett
was only ever a backup while he was in Denver. He's a rotational dude. Saw the potential. We only maybe they've only been elite for 4 years, but those 4 years, yeah, man.
Hey, he got a ring out of it.
I would throw a couple of names in here. Draft pick that no one's spoken about. Ali Marpet.
Yeah. Definitely would have been a Hall of Famer.
And we definitely got the best out of the other one. I can't remember his freaking name now.
What position?
He was another guard. He went off to Cincy. No, did he go? Yes, he went to Cincy and
Alex Kappa.
Alice Kappa. We got the best out of him too.
Jordan Whitehead. We got the best out of him.
Yep.
We also signed. Yeah. Oh yeah. We also signed Gronk. Fucking Gronk. We literally brought back the best duo for the most part in the early 2010s.
Yeah, there you go. JPP and thingy, they're trades. And we got those.
And mind you, we gave them up for a 3rd pick. The Giants didn't even do shit with that 3rd pick. That was a steal. The Bucs.
I'm telling you, people overrate picks.
Yes.
They can do. They get to this point going, oh, I got a player that can give me 500 yards and 4 touchdowns. I'm going to trade him for a 4th-round pick. Why? For what? For what? For a guy who's got the potential to give you those things. And I think the Buccaneers have been very smart about keeping hold of the talent that they have when they need it, rather than going, oh, I got to cash in my chips now. The Buccaneers go, nah, these chips are still these chips are still producing, these chips are still giving us what we need. let's keep hold of them, and we might hit the jackpot.
That's right. And it's all about, again, developing and believing. And what else has Jason Light helped establish? A good culture. Yes, Buck fans, Brady established. He came in and brung the
I'll go on the hill. Jamal Dean's one of his players. He got paid. Won a Super Bowl. A solid dude.
Yeah. Oh, we forgetting another guy who's solid, but I know people don't know him yet, but he still is a good pick, Tyke Smith. And imagine this, like, if Servassier pans out the way that you and I think he will, that's another one. If he has 100+ tackle season, let's say because he's good in coverage, he gets 4 to 5 interceptions, between 3 and 4 sacks.
Yep.
You can't make this shit up, guys. That's why we are very aware who Howell Roseman is. We get that. But again, it's the Eagles. That's cool. Nobody is knocking him, but Jason Light does not get the flowers and love that he deserves. He's gotten a Super Bowl. He kept the fucking gang together. Something that Eagles fans, you couldn't do. Your players, your defense is going to suffer this season. The Bucs, we saw this 2021 Slick. Nobody doubted the Bucs. If anything, we had the media in our palm saying these motherfuckers can win it back to back. And it looked like for a minute we were. That offense is one of the greatest offenses, Slick, I have ever seen. I'm not gonna lie. I would have loved to see the greatest show on turf play the 2021 Bucs. That would have been. You want to talk about a shootout? A fucking shootout? And Slick, we can play physical football too. Physical football. Right. That's how potent our offense was. When people forget, I'm like a prime Mike Evans, prime Chris Godwin. We still had Gronk. We had AB. We had Cameron Brate. We had OJ Howard. We had
Cameron Brate. You gotta give
Brady.
That's an undrafted free, and he does a fucking magnificent job with undrafted free agents.
Yeah. And we still had Fournette back there. We that offense was undeniable. We saw it. We were 13-4, and we were cooking. So again, you guys, Jason Light deserves his touch. If he were look, the Tampa Bay area is not as big as any NFC East teams, and that's just what it is. That's the reality. You got Philadelphia, New York City, Washington D.C., Dallas, fucking Texas.
We don't want the shine. We are the shine.
We are the shine. Exactly. But you know what? That's what makes the Bucs fucking better, because we do better when people shit on us. We do better when people doubt us. Every time we get doubted big,
we do better when we kick their ass and we sit there going, this small little city, it's worth fuck all.
Exactly. Because not once, but twice in both Super Bowls, ladies and gentlemen. Think about this. The Raiders. We played 2 number 1 offenses. I got them winning. No football logic behind it. I just like them because I know more about them. And what do the Bucs do? Just clapping. Just clapping. And this is what happened. Just and so we're gonna do it again. JT Olsen. What's up, JT? We're gonna get you back on here because we're gonna give again JT Olsen. He gave Luke Gedeke his flowers, but put it this way, Jason Light has assembled, and look at the draft picks this year, Slick. Again, he picked pieces, depth pieces that we need. This is why, Slick, I'm so excited.
You as well, because if you aren't sold on those cornerbacks, you've got a future.
Right. If one of them hits. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to bring out, Slick, because I guess people again still don't understand football. No GM, not even Jason Light, Howell, that you Eagles fans like to deep throat. No fucking GM has ever had a perfect draft, ever. That's not how football works. If that were the case, ladies and gentlemen, 90% of teams would still have all their draft picks. There's a reason there's free agency. There's a reason why people get traded. It's called bad picks. It happens. It doesn't matter who you are.
Dude, I've died on this hill. I've said to you, if you don't think Jason Light's that good of a GM, who do you think is the best GM? At the time, this is a few years ago, it was the Seahawks GM because he had that great draft. Okay, let's pull out the picks. And I could do this all fucking day, dude. You want to give me Howie Roseman? Let's fucking do Howie Roseman, right? We'll do this, bitch.
Oh,
give me a
here's what
second.
they're saying. I know, but you know what they're gonna try to slurp up?
Oh, well, like, we got Fletcher Cox, we got
Jalen Carter. That's cool. That's cool. Well, we got Saquon Barkley, we got AJ Brown. None of those motherfuckers you mentioned are Mike Evans. None of those motherfuckers you mentioned. Fletcher Cox, I like him, and I know they play different positions, but give me Vita. I'll take Vita over Fletcher Cox.
Well, we got Jason Kelsey.
Right now, I'll still
Not
take
anymore, you don't.
Kelsey.
Not anymore, you don't.
Right. Oh yeah, no, but this is what they'll say. Well, we drafted this and we drafted all that.
Okay, and this is the thing. You're talking about not hitting, and you're 100% right. I'm just making sure I got the right numbers here. 2019. Cool. Sorry, I wanted to see how long he'd been with the team because I don't know the fucking facts.
I think he's been there since 2000.
He has, but not as
the GM. I think the GM
2019.
19. Oh, okay, 2019. Oh, wait, 2019. That's right. So Jason Light has been doing it longer.
So he is. Oh, sorry. There's a bit more to it than that. So he was.
I thought it was 2010.
No. You are right. General manager 2010 to 2014. Then as executive vice president of football operations. Then executive vice president / general manager. We'll go from there. Which means he's had a long time to be the dude, so to speak, if that makes any sense. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, he's been good. But again, I know where you're going. Let's look at his hit list. Like, I'm not so okay. When I look at Howie Roseman's players, there are good players. But Slick, I haven't seen anything to where the way that they fucking
him. The only thing you can net him that makes him a very good GM is the fact that he's gained 2 Super Bowls while he was GM, which is pretty fucking awesome. I'll give him that. We've got to give him that.
Oh, absolutely. But they'll say 2012 Fletcher Cox, 2020 Jalen Hurts. I laugh at that. Jalen Carter is not Vita Vea. So I love how they talk about that. But they don't like to talk about the misses. They don't like to talk about Danny Watkins, Slick. They don't like to talk about them. Or Jalen Reagor.
No one does. We got our misses. We know we got our misses.
Oh, no,
this is why you had your whole point, right? You had your whole point was the fact that everyone misses. Everyone hits. But the goal is to hit as much more than you lose, right? It's like gambling. Right? Because me and you have made the joke that the draft is a bit of a gamble, right? That's what it is.
All the time. But again, if Howie Slick was in Tampa, he would not get nowhere near as much shine as like if it was the reverse. Because again, I'm looking for a draft, Slick, where they drafted a Mike Evans caliber type of player. Now, I will give them Jason Kelsey as a Hall of Famer, but
let's go with his. You want to go with his first year?
Yeah.
First round pick was Brandon Graham. Nate Allen, Daniel Teo Nisham, Tavard Lindley, Keenan Clayton, Mike Kafta. Yeah, we all know about him. Clay Harbor, Ricky Sapp. Maybe he thought he was getting Warren Sapp and he just got confused.
Yeah.
Riley Cooper, Charles Scott. This is back in the Jeff Owens. Okay, so the only notable name off the top of my head, and it's just off the top of my head, is probably Brandon Graham.
Yeah, that's it, and that's cool. But okay, let's go to the next one because everybody else they didn't make it.
No, exactly, and that's the point, right? That's a good hit. So he hit once on the first round pick, which is where you're supposed to hit. We'll give him that. 1 for 1. I think there'll probably be players that lasted a couple of years that contributed well, but you know what I mean. we're going to have to go get names that jump off the list. That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what we're doing here. So David 8. No, wrong. That's free agent. Sorry, my mistake. Signing class. Okay. Danny Watkins, first round pick. Guard, Baylor. Jaquan Jarrett.
Booty.
Curtis Marsh. Casey Matthews.
Booty.
Ian Lewis.
Booty.
Alex.
Booty.
Yeah, there's no big names here.
Booty. Again, but according to some of these great.
This is a misdraft. This is 100% a misdraft.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a misdraft, and we all have them, right? The fucking Roberto Aguero fucking draft was a crapshoot. That was fucking.
And everybody still loves to try to give him shit about that, but then I go, you guys drafted shitty players too. But a kicker in the second round, who gives a fuck? He still drafted. Okay, his drafting ceiling supersedes that. So.
But the logic behind it, though, when they asked him, he was like, well, you know, he can do this, and this. And technically, he's a starter on special teams. So we kind of thought, yeah, and I get it. I get that. It doesn't mean I agree with it. So let's go to the next one. 2012, Fletcher Cox. Everyone knows who Fletcher Cox is. He is one of the better defensive tackles in football. Michael Kendricks, Vinnie Curry, I know the name. Nick Foles, I know Vinnie Curry because he played for us. He wasn't great. We bit on that fucking Super Bowl shine and went, oh, he played in the Super Bowl. Come to us.
Exactly.
When he got here, it was dog shit when he got here. Nick Foles, Big Nick Dick. He had moments, but he was never great.
Nope.
I mean, it's impressive what they got out of him for a third-round pick. Brandon Boykin, Dennis Kelly, Marvin McNutt, Brandon Washington, and Bryce Brown. So that's what they picked. Fletcher Cox. So I'd say Fletcher Cox, and I'd say averagely I'd give Nick Foles a nod, and I'd give Vinnie Curry a nod, but I wouldn't say they were great players. I'd say they were okay players.
They were okay, because I remember Curry, too. He didn't do shit on the Bucs. So I remember him, too. Let's go to the next one. Since people love this shit, we're going through this shit. Let's do this.
We can do this because it's all. This is the beauty of fucking the internet, right?
Yep.
As long as I don't bite on fake fucking stories about people being angry about other people that don't exist.
Right.
Oh my god, the amount of those that are out there, it's fucking insane, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. Lane Johnson. This might be one of his better drafts.
Yep.
So I'm just looking at the names. I'm like, okay, some of these guys jump off the screen. First two, definitely. Lane Johnson, Zach Ertz. 1 and 2.
Cool.
Fucking bang, bang. I'll give him that. Benny Logan.
Nope.
Matt Barkley, quarterback.
Nope.
I've heard the name, but
he ain't do shit.
Yeah, you know when you just hear a name, that's it. Earl Wolf.
Nope. They ain't do
Joe
shit.
Kroger.
Doesn't do
Jordan
shit.
Poyer. I know that name. Oh, I know Jordan Poyer. That name rings a bell. I have to click on him now just to make sure what I know about him. He plays on the Bills as well.
Yeah, he wasn't special.
No, but he might be one of those solid dudes. You know what I mean? I'm just checking.
It wasn't solid.
24 interceptions, though, dude. I'd say solid. Let's give him the nod. That's his low end pick. This is the first pick I've seen that he's picked that's been low end. So this guy was a 7th-round pick. I would say this kid definitely exceeded expectations for a 7th-round pick. So I'll give him that. I'll give him that. I've got no problem with giving that. But that's his first pick that isn't a first or a second that we can turn around and go, oh yeah, that guy's a stud.
Yeah.
Next year, 2014. Get this shit going. Draft class. Here we go. Marcus Smith, linebacker, 1st-round pick. Rings a bell, but I know he's not good. Jordan Matthews, wide receiver. Josh Huff, wide receiver. Jalen Watkins, cornerback, Florida.
Meow.
And you know because you're a Florida boy. So
Exactly.
Meow.
Taylor Hart, defensive end, Oregon.
Meow.
Okay, I already know who the best player is, and he was drafted in the 7th round. Bo Allen. We had him on the squad.
See, but thank you, Slick.
That's a dead draft. That's a dead draft for me, right? Like, it's impressive.
Thank you for. Yeah,
Well,
guys.
and that's all. I've done what 4 drafts. I haven't even got to like
4
all the way.
drafts.
We're in 2014 right now.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
And JT just said this one, and I'll wrap this bad boy up. he drafted Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson. Make it make sense, people.
wow.
Make it make sense. Thank you, JT. This is what we're trying to say is your guys are not, there's never been anybody perfect. That's just not how football works, y'all.
No,
So,
you're always going to miss. If you can hit the first 3 picks, I think you've fucking had the greatest draft in the world.
you knocked it out of the park. Exactly.
Yep.
Your first 3, either your first 3 or in between, you know what you're doing. Because if you can get gems and turn them into diamonds, then it shows you know how to develop. So this is why, at the end of the day, put some respect on this man's fucking name because he lights the way for the Tampa Bay Bucs. And with that, I'm going to be out. Thank you all for watching Bucs Report, the aftermath on 102.9, the game, Broad Street South Radio. Continue to check my TikToks out. Also, look at my videos. Give Coach Licht an opportunity because we want him in Tampa as a defensive coordinator or a linebacker coach, whatever the fuck. We just want him employed in the States. With that, all good, brother. You take care of yourself and go Bucs, my man.
Go Bucs, brother. I'll see you soon.
Take care.
Peace. Hey guys, so things are good. Buccaneers are just around the corner from preseason. Got my fresh cut in. I'm ready to roll, baby. Man, I can't wait for this season. And I will be in Tampa the day before Thanksgiving. So I'm looking forward to meeting y'all and having a good time, getting my drink on. I'm family less. There's no family coming with me. This is just for me. This is my 40th. I always said I wanted to just go and do all these things in Tampa. And my wife said to me, "Well, what are you doing?" I was like, "Well, you know, we got the kids." And so go on your 40th. Just have fun. Go and do you. So I'm coming to Tampa to do me. I'm going to catch a USF game. I'm going to watch the Bucs. I'm probably going to catch a Magic game if there's one going. If there was high school football going, which I don't believe there is, I'd go and check that out. And I'm going to get my drink on. So hopefully AJ's able to turn up, which he usually does. And any of you wonderful people who want to get your drink on, I'm ready. Without further ado, you've all been great. Please like, subscribe, comment. We all appreciate it. If you want to come on and chat your shit, you're more than welcome to. Bang it in there. We'll bang out the link to you and you can come on and have a chat with us. Absolutely fine. Buccaneers football is just around the corner, guys. We got preseason stories to come. Then it's the preseason. Then it's all the cuts. And then we're going into the regular season. But on that note, Bucs on me, Bucs on free. 1, 2, 3. Go Bucs!